Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you'd like to support the ministry, you can do so through PayPal, garethcahoon3@gmail.com. This one's about Iranian missile launches declined by 90% as Israeli and US Air Force step up strikes on launchers, depots, and underground bases. US uses heavy bombers to destroy buried underground missile sites. The number of missiles launched by the Iranian regime has dropped by 90% since the first day of the fighting, according to the Chief of the United States Central Command, or CENTCOM, as US and Israeli fighter jets have established near complete aerial superiority over the country. In a briefing on Tuesday, CENTCOM Chief Admiral Brad Cooper said ballistic missile attacks had fallen by 90%, while drone attacks had dropped by 83%. Meanwhile, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir said that 60% of the regime's missile launchers has been destroyed so far. This is a very significant achievement that reduces harm to the home front and saves many lives. However, this is an ongoing effort, and I emphasise that the threat has not yet been removed. Every missile is lethal and poses danger. The Air Force has conducted some 2,500 sorties and dropped over 6,000 munitions so far, Zamir added. The daily number of missile launchers and the missiles per attack by the Iranian forces have dropped consistently since the start of the war. Overall, around 200 missiles were fired at Israel since last Saturday. Ynet News reported, noting that this was 80% lower than they estimated, as the security system had prepared for the regime to launch around 150 missiles per day. According to statistics compiled by Israel's Alma Research Center, the first day of fighting saw 25 missile barrages launched, with an additional 64 barrages on the second day, though each contained fewer missiles. On the third day, the regime launched 25 barrages, on the fourth only 9, and on the fifth day 11, while Thursday saw 9 waves of attacks. The think tank has registered 143 waves of missile attacks on Israel overall. Both Zamir and Cooper noted that both US and Israel forces are now entering a new phase of fighting after establishing aerial superiority in Iran and taking out most of its air defences. The United States has already confirmed the use of every one of its 3 types of strategic bombers, including stealthy B-2 Spirit bombers, the B-1 Lancer, and the B-52 Stratos Fortress. The B-2 is allegedly the only plane capable of delivering the GBU-55 series, mother of all bombs, bunker busters bombs, while the other 2 bombers can carry a massive payload of up to 70,000 pounds or 32,000 kilograms. Cooper said on Thursday that the B-2 has dropped dozens of 2,000-pound perimeter bombs targeting deeply buried underground ballistic missile sites, adding that production facilities would also be targeted. This is expected to further degrade the regime's ability to launch missile attacks. The Israeli Air Force doesn't have heavy bombers comparable to the US in their ability to deliver heavy payloads necessary to penetrate the missiles and nuclear sites, with the regime has often buried deep under the mountains. On Thursday, Iran attacked Israel with 8 missile barrages. though they were all either intercepted or had fallen in open areas. There was no reports of serious injuries or significant damage caused by the strikes. Since Saturday, 19 Israelis have been killed by missile fire. Alma reported 9 attacks registered in the period from Wednesday evening to Thursday evening, of which 5 targeted the Tel Aviv area and 2 each targeted the region of Jerusalem and Beersheba. It also noted that 2,800 Israelis have been forced to leave their homes due to the damage from missile strikes and interceptor debris. The Iranian regime has continued attack in the Gulf countries, particularly the United Arab Emirates, which has been targeted even more heavily than Israel. In total, roughly 300 missiles has been fired across the region, most at Gulf states far closer to Iran than Israel. The UAE reported 7 missiles were fired at its territory on Thursday. Meanwhile, Iran affiliated media said it has launched more than 500 missiles and 2,000 drones since the fighting began, noting that 40% of attacks targeted Israel and another 60 targeted American sites in the region. Most of the US bases are in the Gulf countries, though through attacks have often targeted civilian sites, including hotels and key economic installations like ports and energy facilities. So this is a really, really good outcome for Israel and America so far. They nearly have neutralized all of Iran's missile launchers and ballistic missile sites. So keep going. The United States and Israel, you are doing a great job, and the world is behind what you're doing. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.